Most people think the best time to get serious about money is when they finally feel ready, when they've paid off some debt, when they get that next raise, when life settles down a little. That's one of the most expensive lies you'll ever tell yourself. Because here's the brutal truth. There's a specific window in your financial life, roughly between your mid-20s and your mid-30s, where the decisions you make have 10 times the impact of anything you'll do after 40. Not 5 times, 10 times. A 25-year-old who invests $300 a month will, statistically, retire with more wealth than a 40-year-old who invests $1,000 a month. Same markets, different clocks. And yet, nobody talks about this. Your school didn't. Your parents probably didn't. Your employer definitely didn't hand you a pamphlet saying, hey, you have about a decade to completely change the trajectory of your life. Don't waste it. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not just about investing early. It's about a cluster of financial moves, 5 specific ones, that only make their maximum impact when you're young. Miss the window, and you're not just behind. You're permanently recalculating. Let's fix that. Imagine you're 28 years old. You're making $55,000 a year, maybe more. You got a little bit of savings, some student debt, possibly a car payment. You're not broke, but you're not exactly thriving either. You know you should be doing something smarter with your money, but every time you try to figure out what, you run into a wall of jargon, conflicting advice, and the quiet, creeping sense that you're already behind. Sound familiar? Here's what's really happening. Most people in their late 20s and early 30s are stuck in what I call a financial holding pattern. Spending just enough, saving just enough, telling themselves they'll get serious soon. And every month that passes in the holding pattern isn't neutral. It's costing you. Compounding doesn't care about your intentions. According to a 2023 Federal Reserve survey, nearly 37% of Americans between ages 25 and 34 have zero retirement savings. Zero. Not a little. Nothing. And among those who do have savings, the median balance is under $20,000. That's not a financial cushion. That's a speed bump. Here's what makes this devastating. Missing just 10 years of investing in your 20s can cost you over $500,000 by retirement, even accounting for later catch-up contributions. That's not a number I made up for drama. That's math. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The system doesn't set you up to succeed during this window. No one hands you a roadmap. So let's break this down, and I promise, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what the window is, what moves closer forever, and what you can do right now to make sure you don't miss it. First, let's talk about the Roth IRA, the account that literally gets more valuable the younger you are. A Roth IRA is a retirement account where you put in after-tax money today, and everything it grows into comes out completely tax-free in retirement. No tax on the gains. No tax on the withdrawals. Nothing. Here's why this is a time-sensitive weapon. When you're young, your tax rate is probably lower than it'll ever be again. So you pay a small tax now, and you avoid a potentially huge tax later on potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars of gains. Think of it like buying a tiny piece of land for $500 in 1990. The land itself isn't impressive. But what it becomes, a shopping plaza worth $4 million. That's the Roth IRA story. The contribution limit in 2024 is $7,000 per year. And there's an income limit. Once you're earning too much, you phase out of eligibility. So if you're in your late 20s or early 30s and your income hasn't hit the ceiling yet, this is your window. Max it out every single year. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let me ask you something. Have you ever told yourself you'd start investing after the market dips? After things calm down politically? After you pay off that credit card? Yeah, that's the trap. A landmark study by Charles Schwab found that even investors who perfectly invested at the market's lowest point every year barely outperform investors who just invested immediately every month, regardless of conditions. The difference over 20 years? Less than 1%. Meanwhile, the investor who stayed in cash, waiting for the perfect moment, ended up with dramatically less than both of them. Time in the market beats timing the market. Always. The best time to invest was yesterday. The second best time is today. And this matters most when you're young, because you have the one thing money literally cannot buy back. Years. A dollar invested at 25 has 40 years to compound. That same dollar at 35 has 30. That 10-year difference at a 7% average annual return doesn't just add, it multiplies. You're not falling behind linearly. You're falling behind exponentially. This leads us to the next crucial point. If your employer offers a 401k match and you're not capturing the full match, you are literally turning down free money. I don't say that hyperbolically. I mean your employer is offering to add dollars to your retirement account, and you are declining. Here's a quick example. Say your employer matches 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary. You make $60,000. If you contribute 6%, that's $3,600 a year. Your employer adds $1,800. That's an instant 50% return on your money before the market does anything. No investment on earth reliably gives you a 50% return. Not crypto, not real estate, not a hot stock tip from your cousin. Nothing. And yet, according to Vanguard's 2023 How America Saved report, roughly 1 in 3 eligible employees doesn't contribute enough to capture their full employer match. They're choosing a smaller paycheck today over thousands of dollars of compounded wealth tomorrow. Contribute at least up to your full employer match. That's non-negotiable. That's not advice. That's financial math. You might be wondering, okay, but what about debt? What if I've got student loans? Here's the question I get more than almost any other. Should I pay off my debt first or invest? And the answer, sorry, is it depends. But there's a logical framework that makes this super clear. If your debt has an interest rate above 7%, pay it off aggressively, because the guaranteed return of eliminating high-interest debt beats the expected market return. If your debt interest rate is below 7%, think federal student loans, most car loans, invest simultaneously. The math favors growing your wealth while you service the debt slowly. The one exception that overrides everything? Always capture the full employer 401k match first, even before paying extra debt, because that 50% instant return beats any interest rate. Think of it like a leaky bucket. High-interest debt is a huge hole. Fix it first. Low-interest debt is a small drip. You can fill the bucket while patching the drip. What this means practically, a 29-year-old with $15,000 in student loans at 4.5% should still be investing, not instead of paying the loans, alongside it. Because the years you spend waiting to start investing are years of compounding you can never get back. But wait, there's more to this. Here's something most finance YouTubers gloss over. You could do everything else right, and one unexpected event can completely unravel it. A job loss, a medical bill, a car that dies at the worst possible time. Without a financial cushion, you're forced to pull from investments, rack up credit card debt, or both, and suddenly you've undone years of progress in a single month. The target is 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield savings account, not a regular savings account earning 0.01%, a high-yield savings account. Many are currently paying between 4 and 5% annually. Your emergency fund should be working while it waits. Think of your emergency fund as the shock absorber on a car. You don't notice it most of the time, but hit a pothole, and it's the only thing between you and a wrecked vehicle. The psychological benefit is just as real as the financial one. When you know you have a cushion, you make better long-term decisions. You don't panic sell investments during a downturn. You don't take a bad job offer out of desperation. Stability creates clarity. This is the one nobody talks about. Your 20s and early 30s are the highest leverage period for salary growth you will ever experience. Research from Harvard Business Review shows that most people's salaries grow fastest between ages 25 and 35, and that growth largely plateaus after 40. This is a window where switching jobs, negotiating aggressively, and building marketable skills compounds just like money does. A $10,000 raise at 28 doesn't just give you $10,000 more per year. It resets your salary baseline permanently. It affects every future raise, every future job offer, every future negotiation. The average person who negotiates their starting salary earns over $1 million more over their lifetime than someone who doesn't. $1 million because of one uncomfortable conversation. So in your late 20s and early 30s, learn to negotiate, invest in skills, job hop strategically, because your income is your most powerful financial tool, and this is the window where it's most malleable. So what do you actually do with this information? Step 1, today, open and fund a Roth IRA. If you don't have one, open one today. Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard all have free accounts with no minimums. Set up an automatic contribution, even $100 a month to start. Don't wait until you can afford more. Start now. Increase it later. Time matters more than amount at this stage. This takes about 20 minutes. Step 2, this week, audit your 401k contributions. Log into your employer's benefits portal. Find out the exact match formula. Increase your contribution to capture every dollar of that match. This one change should add tens of thousands of dollars to your retirement over the next 30 years. It takes 10 minutes, and you will genuinely wonder why you didn't do it sooner. Step 3. This month, build your emergency fund foundation. Open a high-yield savings account. SoFi, Marcus, and Ally are all strong options right now. Set up an automatic transfer of even $200 to $300 a month. Your target is 3 months of expenses. You don't have to get there overnight. Just start building the foundation. Step 4. Over the next 90 days, tackle your highest interest debt. List every debt you have, along with the interest rate. Anything above 7%, attack it aggressively using the avalanche method. Anything below 7%, service it normally while you invest. This one framework will save you from years of financial paralysis. Step 5. Before your next salary review, prepare to negotiate. Research your market salary on Glassdoor, LinkedIn Salary, and levels.fyi. Know your number. Prepare your case. The most powerful financial move of your 30s might not be in a brokerage account. It might be a single conversation with your manager. Here's the thing about this financial window. It doesn't close dramatically. There's no alarm, no notification. One day you're 27 with every option in front of you, and then somehow you're 38 wondering why the math stopped working in your favor. The moves you make in the next few years will literally determine whether you retire wealthy or whether you're scrambling at 65. That's not fear-mongering. That's compound interest. The window is open right now. The question is whether you'll walk through it. If this video helped you see your 20s and 30s differently, do me a favor, hit subscribe, because every week I break down real financial strategies for real people who are tired of vague advice that goes nowhere. And next week, I'm going deep on something most people completely ignore, the single biggest reason high earners still end up broke. And it's not what you think. The clock is ticking, but you got time. Start today.